Sign of the Times, episode 188, from the back of this undisclosed honey bucket. It's an undisclosed honey bucket next to a gigantic field. Honey bucket next to a giant field. Giant field, honey bucket. That's undisclosed. For the people who love the snaps. Pamphlet of the Sign of the Times. Look at that nice pamphlet we have. Sticker of the Lucha Underground. Great Lucha action there. QT, huge fan of the Lucha Underground. I believe his favorite Lucha Underground performer is Tejano. Comic book of Team IOU. It's a story about a dog and a boy. A boy and a dog. Cauliflower Alley Club 50th anniversary program. It was once in the luggage of Coach Mike Jones. Team Bad Knees with Casey Carlisle. Imagine if they were to form a giant cohesive faction. Team Bad Knees could sell pictures of Casey Carlisle, which are available at CaseyCarlisle.com, and they could all share in the profits, or not. Maybe Casey Carlisle could sell Team Bad Knees pictures. Who knows? All kinds of possibilities if they form a giant faction. They could sell pillows. They could sell short people the smaller pictures, because it would look massive in comparison. There she is in a hot nurse's outfit in case one of Team Bad Knees were to get even worse knee. There she is next to a barn in case Team Bad Knees wanted to have a secret meeting in a barn where they could go to schools and talk about their bad knees and preach knee safety. There she is with the title belt. Team Bad Knees likes title belts. Autographed picture of Seymour Schnott. Gouge running a show on the Independence Day holiday this year, I believe. I believe so. Seymour Schnott probably going to be in action. The Twitter, where you can follow me, but not literally. Not literally. Facebook, the YouTube, which you might be watching right about now. Right about now, you're probably watching. And business card of Casey Carlisle, whom I love, hashtag best in the world, hashtag holder of many championship titles. So this week, busy week. Independence Day here in the United States. Look at that. Independence Day. On Sunday of this week, we have on Turnbuckle Turmoil the hosts of the Undisputed Wrestling Show, Rick, Zane, Mr. Huckabee, all those guys. Hopefully will join us on Turnbuckle as we crossover on Sunday following Turnbuckle. I'm going to beeline it down to BCW. Jeff Cobb is going to be there. Speaking of Lucha Underground, which you can see a sticker of right here. He is a competitor there at the Lucha Underground Temple in dark matches. He'll be a blue collar for the NWA on Monday. And looking free Tuesday this week on the Undisputed Wrestling Show. We're crossing over again. All the people on Turnbuckle Turmoil, Dimitri, QT, myself, our women's expert Cameron Starr, all going to be on the Undisputed Wrestling Show. We'll have to see what they come up with. Who knows what twists and turns that program will take. And we're following Kevin Sullivan. How do you do that? How do you follow Kevin Sullivan in an interview like that? But I guess we'll try it. Wednesday. Total Dudes. To my knowledge, we'll be back Wednesday. I don't think we've changed the date just yet, so Wednesday. To our review of the first episode of Season 4. Did the Bella leave? No, they did not leave because they've been on TV. Nikki's been the champion the whole time till that cliffhanger, not so much. Not so much a cliffhanger, Mark Carrano. Are you prepared to not be divas anymore? Apparently they weren't, because they never stopped. It's an awkward cliffhanger when there's no cliffhanger suspense. But we'll review that on Thursday. And looking free next Friday, Vivian will be with us. She valets as many different gimmick in many different promotions. You might have seen her with Mother Truck and Otis. You might have seen her with Alpha Sigma Alpha. You might have seen her in Spokane. She's all over the map. Does a wide variety of different entertainment aspects. My women's expert Karen Starr will be on hand, so you know that's going to be interesting. So if we review undisclosed back of a honey bucket next to a giant field. Imagine the wind sprints QT could do in this field, just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then he'd have to stop for a coffee, and then he'd go back and forth, back and forth. He'd be a cardio machine. He could outlast anybody doing this field. I'd say it'd take him a minute and 8 seconds to get to the post, in the distance, back to the honey bucket. A minute and 8 seconds. That's my guess. Perhaps we will time him someday. On Sunday, Turnbuckle with the Undisputed Wrestling Show hosts, and beelining down to Portland for some NWA Blue Collar, where there's also going to be Russian versus American, Petrov versus Tex Thompson. Will Tex's knee be okay? Will he be close to 100%? Will Russia prevail? We'll have to find out. Monday, looking free. Tuesday, crossing over again. The people from Turnbuckle will be on Undisputed Wrestling Show following Kevin Sullivan. How do you follow that? I guess you throw QT in there and he talks about robot revolutions and robots killing factory workers when they discover humans having affairs with their wives. Probably going to come down to that. Zane, I'm sorry in advance. Zane, but you invited us. Wednesday, Total Dudes. Speaking of Zane, the Total Diva Olympian, I'm sure he will be watching with eagle eyes the premiere episode of Season 4, which Rex and I will discuss in detail on Thursday. And pretty much looking free. Next Friday, Vivian's going to be on the show with us. She's a variety of different ballet. She's like the South Park Bellinger of the Pacific Northwest wrestling scene. Tons of personalities into the one person. Cameron Starr going to find out more about that as she brings her expertise on women to the show once again. So pretty much episode 188 with this back of a honey bucket next to a giant field, which would take QT a minute and 8 seconds to get there and back.